Good day, everyone. This is Clarissa, and we'll learn the do's and don'ts of layouting and designing the leaflet. So, here's the content of our discussion. First, we'll brush up on what a leaflet is, its purpose, and its pros and cons. Next, we'll focus on layouting and designing the cover and the content of the leaflet. And last, we'll see some examples of different layout setups. Let's begin. So, what is a leaflet? Citing Montañez, 1991, a leaflet is a highly illustrated material that is usually printed on one sheet and it is folded in several ways. It has a variety of purposes. It aims to inform, explain, and even warn the readers, depending on the topic. And these purposes must be achieved in a small space with only a few words and illustrations. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using leaflets? For the advantages, leaflets are first cost effective. Leaflets are a lot cheaper to produce compared to other communication materials, whether they are in print or in digital form. They can be designed for free on our computers and laptops using softwares such as Photoshop, InDesign, and even Canva. And since a leaflet is only one page, printing won't cost that much. Now, next, leaflets are reader friendly. So they are designed in a way that they are easy to understand and read. And lastly, leaflets are versatile. They can be distributed using a lot or a variety of ways. So it can be door to door, it can be distributed by post, or during community gatherings or events. Now, here are the disadvantages of using the leaflets. So, first, leaflets are impersonal. Citing Lustria et al. 2001, print media is the most impersonal. This is because it allows very little to no opportunity to have feedback and interaction between the reader and the communicator. So as a result, we cannot measure the effectiveness of the leaflets in terms of conveying the information to our intended audience. So second, leaflets are temporal. Like other print publications, leaflets have limited lifespan in terms of time. This is because they contain specific information that is time sensitive. This information may become outdated or less relevant as time passes. And lastly, leaflets can be easily discarded. So, truth be told, print materials are first judged based on how they look. If people like them visually, then people will open it and read it. However, if they are not that appealing, leaflets can get tossed aside or ignored. And this is the main reason why we need to make sure that our leaflets are enticing and engaging enough for our readers to pick it. So, how can we make our leaflets eye-catching while still giving useful information? So let's talk about the cover. The cover should be eye-catching. This is very important because, as we said earlier, it's the first thing that catches the reader's eye. Second, the cover should show the reader what the publication is about. And last, the cover must be related to the content. Now, take a quick look at this leaflet. What do you think this is about? Okay, so moving on. Here are some tips for layouting the cover, as discussed by Montañez, 1991. Tip number one, write an interesting but informative title. So this may be in the form of a statement. Here's a sample leaflet by the National Center for Social Research. The title is loud and clear, Are COVID-19 Safety Measures? So even without reading the whole content, we know that this leaflet talks about the safety precautions that the research organization took during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, second, the title can also be a question, just like this leaflet produced by the Nottingham City Council. Coronavirus, do you need help? Basically, it is specifically targeting individuals who are worried that they might have caught COVID-19. Now, third, the title can also be in the form of a suggestion. As with the title, don't let your protection fade. So this is a leaflet produced by the Public Health Scotland. And it says here to read the leaflet before your vaccine appointment. So it has the guidelines and reminders, of course, before people aged 12 and over have their vaccines. And last but not the least, we can also use the title in the form of a command. So let me read the title of this leaflet produced by the UK government. Coronavirus, stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. It sounds authoritative, right? So just by reading the title, then we can see and somehow feel that there is the need and urgency to take action and do our part by just staying at home during the height of the pandemic. Now, let's move on. So, next to the title is the illustration. Of course, use an attractive illustration. And as Montañez suggested, show people in action. So this is because we naturally connect with images of other human beings. When we see a person in action, then we can relate to the image on a personal level. It can evoke emotions, and as a result, we can have a stronger connection to the photo. So see this photo of a crowd with flags raised up in the sky. So just by looking at the facial expressions of the women here, we can see their anger, their passion about their fight. And of course, we can also assume that they're holding a rally. Now, just a brief background. So this is Amnesty International's leaflet about the human rights situation in the Middle East and North Africa. So third, let's move on to the color. Suit the color of the cover to the subject of the publication. So here's an example. Ano ang bird flu o avian influenza? This is a leaflet produced by the Department of Agriculture, Region 4A, about the bird flu. So as we can see, the leaflet is in the color of green, which represents agriculture. Tip number 4, make sure that the message of the illustration is clear. So this illustration, consisting of the earth, the sweat dripping, and the thermometer, perfectly fits the title of the leaflet, which is 2 degrees Celsius is too high. So this is a leaflet by the Worldwide Fund for Nature. And it talks about what might happen if the Earth gets 2 degrees warmer. And last but not the least, put illustrations usually on the lower half of the cover. As seen in the cover of this leaflet, produced by the European Network of National Human Rights Institutions. So as we can see here, the illustration or the photo is on the lower half of the cover, while the title, Aligning Poverty Reduction and Measurement with Human Rights and SDGs, can be seen on the upper half of the cover. So I'll cut the report first and then we'll continue with the second part. Let's see there.